Right now, we invite Edmund Joseph Twohill for his creative showcase. Edmund is the executive director and co-founder of Impact Singapore.
Hi, everyone. My name is Edmund, and I just want to express, ImpactSG wants to express our thanks to Lawrence for giving us the opportunity to showcase what we do. All right. So I'd like to start by talking about ImpactSG. ImpactSG was the story of 3 young Singaporean boys, Daniel, myself, and Kofong. Both my co-founders are still in their full-time jobs, one at the Ministry of Trade and Industry and another one in a single-family office. But we started in June 2022 as a ground-up when I was still a volunteer as part of the Forward SG Conversations, a national conversation to mobilize citizens to step forward and take action to support the community. So over time, we are now an independent nonprofit. We were only launched 6 months ago. And we are in the business of creating givers. And we do this through a unique approach of the 4 T's by ensuring that our givers commit to time, ties, talent, and treasure. The next thing is about how we operationalize ImpactSG. We have 3 P's, our pledges. We get our pledges to be engaged through a series of activities. I'll share more in a bit. We get them to plug and play directly into programs which are curated for them to make it easy for them to give. And I run a very small team. There's only 4 full-time staff. But we work with a variety of partners, both locally and overseas, to try to implement the projects because as a charity, a non-profit, I know that I will never be the best person to implement the last-mile delivery of these programs. There are many good people doing the work. So, why we started? Way back in June of 2022, my co-founders and I were studying economic data. And we realized there was a unique opportunity in Singapore because of the influx of family offices that were coming in. When we started looking at the data from 2020, there were only 400. Today, it's 5 times more. There are more than 2,000 family offices in Singapore. And we realized there's an opportunity to try to better engage this group so that we could get them to become givers. If you think about it, 5 trillion in assets in Singapore, 2,000 family offices. To the average Singaporean, it doesn't mean shit. Honestly, to them, all they were thinking about in terms of the narrative was higher property prices, Sentosa Cove properties, all right? And for a period of time, with the Chinese family offices, it was money laundering. But we thought we could do a lot better by trying to be a bridge within the ecosystem to build connections and be a hyper-connector to ensure that people could give back. So, June 2022 to November of 2024 last year, when we were launched, all right, and we had our work cut out for us because as a ground up and as building a network over time, it got more difficult. So, ImpactSG is led by the board and advisors. This is the leadership team. Our board chairman is Ambassador Ravi Menon. He's our ex-central bank chief. He's Singapore's longest-serving central bank chief for about 12 years. Now he's our ambassador for climate action. We also have an advisor group that advises us and gives us domain expertise, of which I have some who are international nature. So for example, Dominic Barton was McKinsey's global managing partner for about 10 years and a former Canadian ambassador. So, our pleasure community today. There are 15 nationalities represented, and they represent a broad spectrum and range of folks from who are next gen, as well as people above 40. Common to all of them, they are all individuals from family offices, foundations, and corporations. They're all principals or CEOs that have the potential capacity and the ability to make decisions to give back. A lot of times, when we do our activities as well, we require the pledges themselves to get involved because we believe that in the process of giving, it has a transformative effect on the individual and it will help them in their leadership, in their organizations, in what they're trying to do. So these are just 3 examples. Richard's history is that he came from Canada, Hong Kong, now Singapore. Right? He actually helped to start our school program. Lee Han committed his organization, Meraxis, to ImpactSG. He is now Singapore's first biotech unicorn. He just IPO'd in Hong Kong 2 weeks ago. And then there is Abhinav. Abhinav is a naturalized Singaporean, formerly from India, but his family office is very involved in what ImpactSG is doing. And these are just some activities that we run, like dialogues, learning journeys, and networking with international partners, such as the World Economic Forum Young Global Leaders, and so on and so forth. Just other activities we run this year. So since January this year to June, I will have done 42 events for my pledger community, making sure that they get access to networks, making sure they get access to content, making sure they have opportunities to give back. For every pledger that comes to ImpactSG, you have no reason not to give back. So in ImpactSG, a lot of times when they come in as a pledger, they talk about the acronym ACT. Affirm your social commitment, agree to be part of a community, and take action. The take action piece is where ImpactSG will help them take action through the different programs. And these are some programs that we run today, primarily in the areas of school, youth, health, as well as catalyzing impact. This is a busy slide, but I think the point we want to drive across to everyone is that our program cycle is very deliberate and curated, data-driven within ImpactSG. Why? Because we know that with this pledger community, they demand that whatever programs that are rolled out for them is data-centric, all right? And they want the greatest bang for impact in the kind of resources that they commit and what they're willing to put forward. All programs that we have will have to go through proof of concepts, and all my programs now are actually in the pilot stage. We're not on the stage where we're going to scale it up because with philanthropic capital and resources, it's best to be used as an experimental tool and to find and fund the most innovative approaches to addressing problems in the market because we all want to drive systemic change. Just an example, we ran a proof of concept for a school program. So the school program is such that we knew that all these speakers on the screen, where they look at the top left to the other side, they're all foreigners. We knew they were coming to Singapore for about a week, and what we did was we managed to link up with them early and blocked out that time so that they could go to local schools to speak about their careers and talk about leadership. The question is why? We believe that through their conversations with youth, they could help redistribute social capital, networks, and raise aspirational quotients of underprivileged kids and youth in certain neighborhoods in Singapore. We have done on studies, and we noticed that in the western part and northern part of Singapore, the neighborhood public schools there had a higher proportion of students on financial assistance. So that was what we did as a proof of concept. Fast forward to about 2 weeks ago, we ran this program again, but with 6 times more schools, and definitely with greater amount of impact. We're looking at the feedback now, because instead of just doing speeches or talks, we got the students to go on learning journeys as well. 2 companies where the pledges themselves were the ones that hosted it. So for example, on the top left, that's Suhaimi. He's a CEO of Quanich. Quanich is a hedge fund, all right, in Singapore, and he himself ran the learning journey. So I say this is because we believe that as the pledger gets involved in the process, there is a transformative effort that occurs, and we know that the person will grow as a leader, all right? He grows through the process of giving, and it's the act of giving that binds us together as one community. A highlight we had as well was some of our students got to meet Bill Gates when he came to Singapore, all right? So we brought 12 students to have a meet with Bill Gates when he came, also because ImpactSG received seed funding from the Gates Foundation. So we know when he was coming to Singapore, and we engineered this for a couple of months. So when I think about it, why people join us, a lot of times we are interested in building community, we are relational, and to us, giving cannot be transactional. If people come to us saying they want to give us a check, I say keep the check, because we're not about checkbook giving. We believe that if you give the time, you give your ties, you give your talent, and want to get involved in the problem we're trying to solve, the money will come. And we've seen it so far with some of our pledges, because only once they truly understand the issue at hand, they're not in the process of just giving one check, because if they do give you one check, they want to give it to you, and they want to ask you to buzz off. So for us in 2025, all right, we're only 6 months old, all right? Effectively, we launched last November. creating tangible impact through our programs, making sure the pledges and partners we work with, there's a product market fit. All right? We have worked with more than 60 partners in the market today, in Singapore and the region. And first, long-term financial sustainability is important. So how do we do that? But there's three things that if you forget everything I said, just remember for today: ACT, Aspire, Community, Tangible, the 4 T's, and the 3 P's. And happy to connect with anyone who likes to find out more. If you want the slide deck, let me know. All right? And thank you once again, consulars and organizers. Thank you.
Thank you.